Have you noticed how you can understand forgiveness in your head, yet your body still tightens the moment you remember what happened? And have you noticed how the heart can crave peace, yet the mind keeps returning to the same old courtroom? Welcome back to the channel. Settle in, and let us take this journey together. Today we are going to explore two simple truths. First, forgiveness is not a single decision. It is a practice of releasing the inner grip again until your nervous system learns safety. Second, forgiveness is not weakness and it is not forgetting. It is wisdom in action, because it breaks the chain of suffering and changes what you create next through cause and effect. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Let the exhale be a little longer if it feels comfortable. Feel the support under your body. If you are sitting, feel the chair. If you are lying down, feel the bed. If you are standing, feel your feet on the ground. We start here because forgiveness is not only a thought. Forgiveness is a body experience. You can say the right words and still feel tight inside. So we practice where tightness lies, in the body and in attention. A lot of people misunderstand forgiveness because they confuse it with approving harm. They think if I forgive, it means what happened was fine. Or it means I must reconcile. Or it means I must pretend it did not matter. That is not forgiveness. Forgiveness is something else. Forgiveness is releasing your heart from carrying an extra weight that never protected you. It is putting down the burning coal you have been holding, not to excuse someone, but to stop burning your own hand. And sometimes the hardest forgiveness is not for someone else. It is for yourself. Forgiving yourself for staying too long, trusting too much, reacting in ways you regret, not protecting your younger self, not knowing what you know now. So today we practice forgiveness as a path, not a performance. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a person walking through a city carrying a heavy bucket. The bucket is filled with dark water. The person says, "This water is my anger. This water is my grievance. This water is my proof. I need it to remember what they did. I need it to stay strong. I need it to stay safe." The person carries the bucket everywhere. Upstairs, through crowds, into meetings, into meals, into bed. The bucket sloshes, it spills, it stains the floor, it stains the clothes, it stains the mood. But the person does not notice the stains anymore because they have lived with them for so long that the stains feel normal. One day the person sits down on a bench and finally feels the weight in the arms. The shoulders ache. The hands cramp. The breath is shallow. The person realizes something simple and shocking. This bucket is not only hurting the person who wronged me. This bucket is mostly hurting me. A wise passerby sits beside them and says, "You can set it down." The person says, "If I set it down, they win." The passerby says, "Carrying it is not making them lose. Carrying it is making you suffer. Setting it down is not letting them off the hook. Setting it down is taking your life back." The person does not pour it out immediately. That would be too dramatic. The person starts small. They set the bucket down for 1 minute. They feel their hands relax. They feel blood return to the fingers. Then they pick it up again because it feels familiar. The wise passerby says, "Good. That is practice. Set it down again. Not forever. Just again." Over days and weeks, the person sets it down more often. The arms get less tired. The breath gets deeper. The mind gets clearer. The person realizes forgiveness is not a single heroic act. It is repetition. That is what we are doing today. We are practicing setting down the bucket. Now, bring attention to the body and notice where you carry your bucket. Many people carry it in the jaw, holding backwards. Many people carry it in the shoulders, carrying responsibility and resentment together. Many people carry it in the chest, a tightness that feels like armor. Many people carry it in the belly, a knot that never fully relaxes. Wherever you notice it, name it softly. Tightness, pressure, heat, heaviness, numbness. Now place a hand on the heart or belly if that feels comfortable. Feel the warmth. This is a message to the nervous system. I am here. I am not abandoning myself. Now we begin with forgiveness for yourself, because inner peace often starts there. Bring to mind a moment you regret. Keep it manageable. Not the biggest thing. Something you can hold lightly. Now notice what the mind does. It may want to punish you. It may want to replay. It may want to label you. It may want to turn one moment into your whole identity. Instead, practice wisdom. Say silently, I can learn without cruelty. Then practice compassion. Say silently, I did the best I could with what I knew then. Then practice responsibility. Ask, what is one lesson I can carry forward? This is self-forgiveness. It is not denial. It is learning with warmth. Now, the mind might argue. It might say, if I forgive myself, I will repeat the mistake. But the truth is that shame does not create wisdom. Shame creates hiding. Shame creates fear. Fear creates more mistakes. Compassion creates clarity. And clarity creates change. So we train compassion. Now, we practice forgiveness for others. Carefully, unrealistically. Bring to mind someone you feel hurt by. Keep it light. You do not have to choose the most intense person. Choose someone or a situation that you can approach without being overwhelmed. Now notice what happens in the body. The body will tell the truth. Tightness, heat, contraction, or numbness. Now remember the definition. Forgiveness does not mean inviting them back. Forgiveness does not mean removing boundaries. Forgiveness is releasing the internal poison, so you can live. So try this phrase. I release my nervous system from carrying this forever. If that feels too big, make it smaller. I can set it down for 1 minute. Now breathe. Inhale naturally. Exhale slowly. Notice if the jaw can soften by 1%. Notice if the shoulders can drop by 1%. Notice if the belly can loosen by 1%. This is forgiveness as a body practice. Now, let us connect this to cause and effect, because this is where forgiveness becomes wisdom. When you hold resentment all day, your attention becomes trained to search for evidence that confirms your resentment. You see threats everywhere. You interpret neutral things as attacks. You stay on guard. That is the effect of the cause you keep feeding. When you practice forgiveness, you are not erasing truth. You are changing what you feed. You stop feeding the loop that keeps your nervous system inflamed. You create a new cause, the cause of calm clarity. And calm clarity creates better choices. Better choices create better outcomes. That is karma in practical form. Cause and effect shaped by intention. So in forgiveness practice, you are not being naive. You are being strategic with your own peace. Now, a common question is this. What if the other person never apologizes? Forgiveness does not require their participation. That is the point. If your peace requires their apology, you hand them your life. If your peace is built from your own inner practice, you become free. This does not mean you stop caring about justice. It means you stop using your body as the battlefield for justice. You can pursue justice through wise action, boundaries, and consequences when appropriate, without carrying constant hatred inside. Now, let us do a simple guided forgiveness rhythm. On the inhale, silently say, softening. On the exhale, silently say, releasing. Softening the jaw, releasing the grip, softening the shoulders, releasing the weight, softening the chest, releasing the armor. Repeat slowly, softening. Now add a phrase that points the mind toward compassion, without forcing emotion. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from self-punishment. May I be wise. May I be at ease. If you feel resistance, that is normal. Resistance is often fear of losing protection. So reassure it. Say silently, I can keep my boundaries and still release the poison. Now, let me offer another story. Imagine a bell that rings. The sound fills the room, then fades. but someone keeps striking the bell again and again. Not because they like the sound, but because they are afraid of silence. The ringing becomes noise. The room becomes tense. Resentment can be like that. A memory ring. And then the mind strikes it again by replaying, arguing, imagining revenge, imagining speeches, imagining what you should have said. The mind thinks it is protecting you, but it is actually keeping the wound ringing. Forgiveness is letting the bell ring once, and then letting it fade. So when a thought arises, label it softly, remembering. Then return to the breath. Return to the body. Return to the present. This is not weakness. This is training. Now, forgiveness also has a compassion side that many people misunderstand. Compassion is not saying, they did their best so it is fine. Compassion can be simpler. Compassion can be recognizing that many people hurt others because they are unhealed themselves. That understanding can reduce hatred, but it does not erase impact. It does not remove boundaries. It simply allows you to step out of the inner war. So you might try this balanced sentence. I can acknowledge the harm and still choose peace. Now, let us bring it into daily life. Imagine you are in bed and a memory returns. The old pattern is replay. The new pattern is the forgiveness rhythm. Exhale slowly, hand on heart. I can set it down for 1 minute. Then return to the feeling of the bed holding you. Imagine you are in a conversation and someone triggers you. The old pattern is reacting from the wound. The new pattern is pausing. Feel your feet. Exhale slowly. Name the feeling. Then choose a boundary or a calm response. Forgiveness does not mean you accept disrespect. It means you respond without poison. Imagine you are alone and you start blaming yourself for the past. The old pattern is harshness. The new pattern is self-forgiveness. I can learn without cruelty. What is one lesson? What is one kind action I can take now? This is how peace is built. Now we move toward the closing. And I want you to remember one key truth. Forgiveness is not a finish line. It is a direction. Some days you will feel it. Some days you will not. Some days you will set the bucket down easily. Some days you will pick it up again. That does not mean you failed. It means you are practicing. The heart learns by repetition. The nervous system learns by repetition. The mind learns by repetition. So keep returning. Return to breath. Return to the body. Return to the intention to release. Return to the truth that you deserve peace. Now take one more slow breath in and one more slow breath out. Feel your shoulders. Feel your jaw. Feel your hands. Feel the support beneath you. Now offer a closing phrase. May I forgive myself with wisdom. May I forgive others without losing boundaries. May I be free from the inner war. May I walk forward with compassion. As we come to the end, notice what has shifted, even slightly. Maybe the chest feels softer. Maybe the breath is easier. Maybe you feel less tight. Do not chase a big outcome. Respect small changes. That is how practice becomes a life. Before we finish, I want to share why forgiveness creates such deep resonance for so many people. Because many of us were taught that strength means holding on. Holding on to grudges. Holding on to proof. Holding on to anger. Holding on to blame. But that kind of strength is often just tension. It is armor. And armor gets heavy. Real strength is the ability to put down what does not serve you. Real strength is the ability to protect yourself without poisoning yourself. Real strength is the ability to learn without cruelty. Real strength is the ability to choose the middle way. Truth with compassion. I have seen people change when they stop asking, how do I make them pay? And start asking, how do I stop paying with my own peace? And the answer is often forgiveness. Practiced slowly, realistically, with boundaries, with breath, with repetition. So take this with you. Set the bucket down for 1 minute today, then 1 minute tomorrow. And slowly, the arms get lighter, the breath gets deeper, the heart gets freer. If this helped you, Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment with what you noticed. Share your story as well, because someone else might hear your words and feel less alone. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care.